The phone rang, cutting through the quiet room. Mr.Bo excused himself, mentioning an urgent matter, and moved away to answer the call, leaving Esme and Tony alone. After the interruption, the silence was overwhelming. Tony's eyes were fixed on Esme, searching for some sign, some recognition of the time that had passed, of the child she held. Esme, on her part, avoided his gaze, focusing on the baby girl in her arms. The little girl, unaware of the tension, gurgled happily. Her small hands reached out to Tony, fingers wiggling in play. And then she uttered her first word. "Papa," she babbled, her voice a sweet melody. "Papa, papa." The word lingered in the room, reverberating off the walls. It was a simple word, a child's innocent first word, but it hit Tony like a punch. His breath caught, his heart ached. He gazed at the little girl, then at Esme, his eyes reflecting confusion, disbelief, and deep pain. Finally, Esme looked up, meeting his gaze. Her expression was a mix of emotions, unreadable to Tony. She neither confirmed nor denied the child's words. Instead, she held the baby closer, her eyes locked on Tony's. The little girl, still saying "Papa," reached out again, grasping Tony's finger. Her small hand held his tightly, sending a surge of emotions through him. He looked at her innocent face, her curious eyes resembling Esme's. A part of him wanted to believe that this child was his. But another part, wounded and betrayed, hesitated. He couldn't bring himself to ask the burning question. So he sat there motionless, his finger entwined with the little girl's hand, calling him Papa, while Esme observed him with eyes hiding countless untold stories. Esme's eyes were filled with tears, a mix of pain and anger twisting her beautiful face. "Can you believe it? After all the time spent alone, wondering, hoping, praying, and now this," she managed to say, her voice shaking. "My own child's first word was Papa." The word came out as a sob, torn from deep within her. Looking down at her little girl, Esme's expression softened momentarily, a glimpse of pure love shining through her suffering. She gently caressed the baby's soft cheek. "Don't call a player Papa," she murmured, her voice heavy with emotion. "He doesn't deserve it. He doesn't deserve you." Tony felt like a dagger had pierced his heart. He watched helplessly as Esme held their daughter, her eyes filled with a love he knew he had lost. She was right, he was a player. He had toyed with her feelings, with her heart, and now he was facing the consequences. He had shattered her trust, her love, and now it seemed like he was losing his daughter too. Struggling to speak, to defend himself, the words stuck in Tony's throat. He understood that anything he said would be futile, only worsening the situation. He had hurt her deeply, and now he had to bear the weight of his actions. As Esme turned away, shielding their child from his gaze, Tony realized the difficult journey he had ahead. A journey of redemption, of proving himself worthy, of earning back her trust, if that was even possible. He needed to demonstrate that he was more than just a player, that he was capable of love, commitment, and being the father their daughter deserved. But as he looked at Esme, seeing the pain in her eyes, he knew the road ahead would be tough and the odds of success were slim. He had a lot to prove, and time was running out. Tony couldn't believe his ears when he heard the little girl call him Papa. Memories flooded back, memories of a night with Esme filled with love and promises. Looking at the child, he saw a mini version of Esme. It hit him hard. This was his daughter. But before he could say anything, Esme's voice pierced the silence, full of anger. She made it clear that he had no right to claim their child after being absent for a year. Her words stung like a slap, shattering his newfound joy. He tried to speak, but she accused him of always being interested in another woman. Nia. Tony felt her pain and wanted to explain, to tell her he loved her, but he was speechless. Desperate, he begged Esme to let him explain, but she refused. She questioned why he left, why he never looked for her, why he only showed up now after the little girl called him Papa. Tony had no answers, only regrets. He had lost Esme, and now he was on the brink of losing his daughter too. Song of Solomon 7:10. I am my beloved's, and his desire is toward me.